Both of these stitches are used often in historical sewing and are great stitches to have at your disposal as you grow into a seasoned hand sewing expert. To truly master hand sewing, it is important to know the best stitch to use in a situation, as well as how to do it. So in this video, we are going to go over their alternate names, their characteristics and uses, and we'll also learn how to do them. Hello friend, I'm Elena with Thimble and Plume, and we are historical costumers, and we love sharing the things that we have learned over the years in order to empower you to become the best costumer you can be. The whip stitch is an incredibly versatile stitch and is typically used to secure a hem or folded edge, overcast an edge to prevent it from fraying, join two pieces of fabric together, or join a raw edge to a flat surface. It is also known as an overcast stitch as well as a slanted hem stitch and is easily recognized by its row of slanted stitches. Since the stitches are quite visible from the right side, it is best if it is used in an area that is hidden by a lining or by the inside of the garment. Now, the fell stitch is closely related to the whip stitch, and it can be used in many of the same situations as a whip stitch, with one big difference which we'll get to in a moment. It can be used to sew one piece of fabric, trim, or tape onto another fabric surface. It can also be used, like the whip stitch, to attach two pieces of fabric together at the fold or selvages, and you can also find it attaching lining to a garment. Other names include felling stitch, fell stitching, applique stitch, and if it's done invisibly, I've also seen it referred to as a slip stitch. When done with a practiced hand, it is an incredibly attractive stitch, and if you take small enough stitches, it can be invisible to the outside, and that is how it differs from the whip stitch. It is best used in an area where the stitching will be showing from the right side, but the back side will be hidden. So it's a perfect way to sew trim onto a garment, and it is my go-to stitch for sewing on my guards to my bodices and skirts. I just find it so pleasing to look at all those neat little stitches lined up in a row. Can you tell it's my favorite? Okay, so now that you know their names and uses, let's move on to how to do them. And we'll start with the whip stitch. Secure your thread, and then moving up, take a small bite out of your fabric, maybe 2 or 3 threads. Make sure that as you do this, that you are holding your needle perpendicular to the fold. Small bite, go through the fold and pull through. This will create a line of slanted stitches as you move up the fabric. So again, keep that needle perpendicular, a small bite, 2 to 3 threads, and then through the edge of the fold. And just keep on going. Alternately, if you are working with a single piece of fabric in order to stop it from fraying, this is how you'll proceed. Like you did in the whip stitch, you'll keep your needle perpendicular to that cut edge, and you'll go through the fabric, maybe about a little less than 1/8 of an inch away, whatever works best for the fabric. You want it to be far enough away from that cut edge that it's secure. You'll go into the fabric and pull through, and you'll notice here that I am using my fingernail on my thumb there to kind of guide where that thread ends up. And you just keep whipping around the edge like this and to secure all those threads in place so that it doesn't fray. So now that we have learned the whip stitch, let's move on to the fell stitch. So you'll secure your thread and then place it through the fold. Then you'll place your needle directly across where you just came out, angle your needle and run it through all the layers underneath the fabric, then through the fold. Again, directly across from where you just came out, hold your needle at an angle, running it underneath the layers and up through the fold. You want to come in maybe like a 1/16 of an inch away from the fold, as close to the fold as possible. And the less of a bite you take out of the fold, the more invisible the stitch is. So again, coming out across, going up through that fold, going in across, holding it at an angle, and up through that fold. And done carefully, you will have neat little rows of tiny stitches that just look so pleasing to the eye. Now this one does take some practice, but once you do practice and once you get it, you'll be so proud that you did. And you'll see when I turn this over that the difference between the stitches in the back. This is the fell stitch, and you can see that it looks just like a whip stitch from the back side. And the whip stitch, this one is pretty invisible because we took small bites, but it will look like the fell stitch if you take a bigger bite out of your fabric. So if you're interested in increasing your hand sewing knowledge even more, then you definitely want to check out this playlist. Happy sewing, and I'll see you in the next one.